Hey, what's up guys? Spencer Rhodes here, and this is my video about the next 4 episodes of this season, episodes 5 through episode 8 of season 8 all the way to the mid-season finale. These are my predictions for these 4 episodes, and this is what I think is going to happen. Okay, so we actually kind of know a lot about episode 5. If you watch Make a Path Presents, if you watch Ronnie Hayes' one of his newer videos, he actually analyzes the trailer, which, you know, it's the trailer, so it's not really spoilers, but the thing is, he watched the trailer and he analyzed it and he dissected it, and he actually came up with a lot of information that normal people might not know. So in a way, I feel like I know a lot about what's happening in episode 5, but at the same time, I don't know any spoilers because it's the trailer and it's scenes that are in the trailer, and not just the trailer for episode 5, but the trailer of the season that came out like 2 months ago. But okay, so episode 5, it's going to focus on the sanctuary. We're going to have some Rick, Daryl, some other people, but I think it's mostly going to focus, at least half the episode will focus on the sanctuary being surrounded by walkers. This from episode 1 to episode 5, it still takes place in one day. If they keep it up like this, it might just be episode 1 to episode 8. It's all going to be 1 day or 2 days. You know, I don't know, because to episode 5, it's still 1 day. So 3 more episodes, they might as well just have it be the same day, because there's still a lot of things that can happen. It's still like early in the day. So a lot of violence could happen, a lot of characters could get killed in this first day. But episode 5 still takes place in this 1 day. And like I said, I think the first half of the season is just going to be this 1 day, because it doesn't even seem like nothing is about to calm down. You know, Ezekiel and the kingdom, they might be done, but everyone else, they're still fighting, they're still doing shit. So I suspect there's still a lot of story left for this 1 day. So I suspect it'll go all the way up to the mid-season finale, and then episode 9 will go to the next day or weeks later. I think Season 6 did the same thing. The first half of Season 6 was all in 1 day, other than the flashback Morgan episode, but that doesn't really count, you know, because that was a flashback. And then the first episode went back and forth in time. But besides that, the entire first half of Season 6 was 1 day. And then, well, no, 2 days. No? It's 1 or 2 days. Because, like, they get trapped by the walkers and it's like day and night. But, you know what I mean. But episode 5 of this season is still going to be in the first day. Gabriel and Negan are trapped in this building, and they're going to get to know each other, and they're going to get developed. I don't know what's going to happen with Gabriel. He's not going to die. He will escape, I think. Either he escapes or he gets captured. But he's not going to die. Gabriel will survive this season. I can almost guarantee it. But Negan is going to take a liking to Gabriel, and he's going to explain some things to Gabriel, and they're going to get to know each other a little bit. It's not going to be to the point where Gabriel respects Negan or wants to, like, you know, not kill Negan. I think Gabriel will still want to kill Negan, but he might learn some interesting things that he can tell Rick later on. That's what I think is going to happen. And I think the whole purpose is to kind of develop both characters while they're trapped in this building and they might die. It's kind of like Walter and Jesse in Breaking Bad, where they spend an entire episode trying to kill a bug. It seems like a stupid thing to spend a 40-minute episode on, but it actually develops them a lot, and it's actually really deep, and we actually learn a lot about both characters. That's what they're doing with Gabriel and Negan trapped in this building. And Negan is going to not want to kill Gabriel, because I think Negan is going to like Gabriel, and he's going to explain some things about how his system works, why his system works, you know, and how Rick just messed up everything, even though Negan's pretty much wrong, because Negan, you know, he has a system that keeps his people alive, but then he just bullies and terrorizes other people that haven't done anything. Other communities of people, he forces them to go out, risk their lives, get shit, bring it back, you know, and then some of them die anyway, you know, and that's Negan's system, and it's a messed up system. But we're going to learn a little bit about Negan's psychology and his beliefs and why he thinks all of his plans are the right plans and why Rick's just messing with everything. And I think that's the purpose. They will get out at the end of this episode because it looks like they're sweating. It looks like it's hot. I don't know if it's the walkers or the weather, but they're both like sweating and they're both possibly dying, but they're not going to die. They will get out. I suspect they will get out at the end of the episode and they will escape. And I don't know what's going to happen after that. But with the sanctuary, with the people in the sanctuary, we got Simon, Eugene, Dwight, Regina, the Rat, and Gavin. And now, Regina and Arat, I don't know if they're going to do too much. They might just be characters that are kind of in the present. They might have a few lines of dialogue. And what they're trying to figure out is who the mole is, because Gavin says a line in the preview, you know, there has to be a mole. Someone in this room set this all up because all the lookouts got killed. Rick knew exactly where the lookouts were, so that's why he was able to bring all these walkers to us without us knowing it. And someone in here caused this to happen. Someone in here is a rat. Someone in here is working for Rick. So, you know, Dwight and Eugene are both kind of scared. They're both in a bad situation because Dwight is actually the insider, the double agent for Rick. He is the one responsible for this happening, so he has to keep himself alive. He has to convince everyone that he is a bad guy when he's not really anymore. And we see Simon giving Dwight an angry look. Now that could mean anything. It could just be that like Simon doesn't like Dwight because Negan likes Simon and Dwight, but Simon is technically a rank above Dwight. Simon is literally the second in command, the right-hand man. Dwight is still just a soldier. He's a soldier that Negan respects, but he's still a soldier, so Simon sort of has that authority over Dwight, and he's not going to like Dwight. Maybe Dwight just says something that Simon doesn't like. I think it's just meant to scare us into thinking that Dwight's going to be found out. Dwight is not going to be found out because Dwight has to survive. He's in the comics for a lot longer, so he has to survive. And if anyone in that building that's trapped finds out that Dwight is the double agent, Dwight will not survive. Dwight will be fucked. So this episode is going to sort of be like some drama and some scares. The show's going to try to scare us into thinking that maybe Dwight's in danger, that maybe he's going to be discovered as a double agent, that maybe since Eugene is so smart, that Dwight is going to discover that Eugene is going to discover that Dwight is a double agent. But the thing about Eugene is that he's kind of in the middle because he helped Sasha die. He gave Sasha the poison, and then he lied to Negan about what happened. And so Eugene kind of helped her, and he kind of ended up helping Rick because Sasha ended up distracting everyone. And when she came out as a walker, and that's how Rick and everyone were able to fight back a little bit. Sasha's death literally gave Rick a chance to fight back. And Eugene giving Sasha those pills to kill herself with is what created that domino effect. So Eugene is a little bit kind of in Dwight's situation. The difference is that Eugene doesn't really want Rick to win. He wants to be with Negan. He just doesn't want people to die. He doesn't want his secret to be found out about the fact that he gave Sasha the pills. So he's in a similar situation where he has a secret, and if his secret gets discovered, he's as fucked as Dwight is. And so Dwight and Eugene are kind of in this scary situation where they both have secrets, and they both have to be careful to not have their secrets found out. So I think they might end up kind of working together, because there's a scene in the trailer where Dwight says, "You have to find a way to get us out of here or we will all die." And he's talking to Eugene because that's what Eugene does. Eugene figures out stuff. He figures out, you know, like smart stuff that no one else can figure out. So Dwight's going to want Eugene to find a way to get them out. Because Dwight and Eugene have sort of had this like kind of twisted relationship. In season 6, Eugene bit his dick, and then in season 7, they both looked off at the balcony and they're like, yeah, we're Negan, yeah, we're Negan. Like they both have some, kind of a weird connection where they're both like, they're just doing things to survive, and they both have secrets. And now we're going to see that connection come forward, and they're going to have to somehow work together to basically keep each other alive. And that's what episode 5 is going to be about. Now, also, Rick and Daryl, they find the guy that was running away, that was in the car the episode before that they were chasing, and I suspect he's going to die. I think this is going to be another moment where Rick doesn't quite want to kill this guy, but Daryl does want to kill this guy, and they kind of have an argument. But I think what's going to happen is that this Savior, he seems like kind of an asshole. Like he shot another Savior because Carol was using him to, like holding him as ransom, pointing a gun at his head, and he shot the guy anyway. So this Savior's kind of an asshole, so Rick is going to finally have that moment where he tells Daryl, look, why don't we just not kill this guy? And then Daryl's going to want to kill him. And I think what's going to happen is the Savior does something that makes him an asshole, like he tries to kill Rick or something, so that Daryl shoots him, or Rick shoots him, and then they're kind of justified about it. It's just a step forward in that development between Rick and Daryl, where Rick starts wanting to try to save these Saviors, and Daryl just wants to kill, kill, kill. It's not going to change Daryl in this episode, but eventually Daryl will change, and he will get to where he's like Rick, and he doesn't want to kill all these Saviors. If you want to see more of me talking about this, look at my video, Rick versus Daryl Civil War. I have an in-depth, like 20-minute discussion about Daryl's character development this season, him wanting to kill Saviors, and what does it mean. But basically, the Savior's going to die, Rick and Daryl are going to have a brief conflict about it, but he's going to die, and then Rick and Daryl split up. Daryl goes on his motorcycle to help someone or do something. Then Rick goes to Jadis and the trash people. And we see parts of this in the trailer, so I know all of this is going to happen. But basically, Rick goes to the trash people and he says, look, we're kicking Negan's ass right now, so you chose the wrong side. Why don't you come back to our side and help us, and I won't kill you, my people won't kill you. I got like 5 communities of people. If you touch me, they will come here and they will kill you. So why don't you just join us and help us kill Negan? And we see a shot in the trailer where Jadis lifts her hand up, so she's actually thinking about Rick's offer. And what they do is they strip Rick of his clothes, I don't know why, and they lock him up in a dungeon or something. They lock him up, and Rick's in this really dark building, and he's just like peeping out of this little hole with his eyes, obviously. We see all of this in the trailer, so that's why I'm saying this. Rick won't be there too long. He'll get out, but I don't know when that's going to happen. Daryl has already said that he will go back to that place and look for him, and he'll obviously kill Jadis and her people if he sees that Rick's locked up. And we see Rosita and Michonne driving a car, so I suspect Michonne is doing this because she wants to find Rick, and Rosita's like, oh, like she's all like, kind of like an anti-hero, like she wants to help, but she also doesn't want to help because that's what she's been like for the past 2 seasons. So at some point Rick will get out, he will break out, or he will be taken out. It'll either be episode 5 or episode 6, somewhere in that point, because episode 5 is when this all happens. It's when he goes to the trash people, it's when he gets captured. As for episode 6, 7, 8, we know that Aaron tries to do something. He tries to fight the Saviors, or he tries to help Rick or something, because Enid talks to him and says, let me come with you. We need to do this. So Aaron and Enid are up to something. They're doing something to help Rick or help someone else. Probably help Rick, help fight the Saviors. As for episode 6, 7, and 8, I don't know too much because we don't have too much. because we literally have no footage. We have nothing about seasons or episode 6, 7, and 8. There's no footage because when the trailer for this season came out, they were still filming episode 6. That's why most of the trailer is stuff that we've already seen by now. Because you know they hadn't even filmed episode 6, 7, or 8 yet when they made the trailer. So episodes 6, 7, and 8 are pretty much a mystery. We have no scenes, we have no TV spots, no previews, no footage. We don't know anything. It's a big mystery. Like I said, I suspect that this will continue to take place in one day, and that the next half will be like a few days later, or a week later, or the next day, or something to that nature. And the next half will be a little bit more different. It'll start jumping more in time, because that's usually what the format is. I mean, that's what the format was for season 6. The first half was one day, then the second half started 2 months later, and then it started bouncing. It started bouncing more in time. I think that's what season 8 is going to do. So whatever happens in this day, that's going to be the rest of the first half. Negan and Gabriel will get out. The Saviors will deal with their situation at the sanctuary. They will retaliate, and I think Scott Gimple said that the second half would be darker. The Saviors would be more of a threat. The Saviors would fight back, because this first half, thank God, has pretty much been about Rick's team kicking their asses. You know, I mean, obviously we've had some deaths, but for the most part, Rick is winning. The second half will be more towards Negan winning. And, you know, at some point, Negan and his Saviors will go to Alexandria and throw grenades into Alexandria, and there's going to be some casualties. I don't know if this is going to be... It's either going to be somewhere in the second half, or it's going to be episode 8. It could be the big mid-season finale, is when Negan goes to Alexandria and they throw grenades in Alexandria and destroy a big chunk of Alexandria, and a bunch of people will die. A bunch of people will get injured. That will happen at some point. It might be episode 8. I don't know what's going to happen in episode 6, 7, and 8, because we have no information. It's really a mystery. Without like looking at spoilers and stuff, it's really just a mystery. But judging from the comics, Negan is eventually going to strike back, and I think towards the end of this first half, it's going to be when Negan strikes back, or the beginning of Negan's retaliation against Alexandria and the Hilltop and the Kingdom. And episode 7 will be leading to this big thing that happens. And episode 8 will be the big thing that happens. And what I think is going to happen is that a main cast member will die. Because it's been, what, 2 seasons since a main cast member died in the mid-season finale. Season 4 did it with Herschel. Season 5 did it with Beth. But Season 6 and Season 7 did not do it. There was not a main cast member death in the mid-season finale. So I think now they're going to actually have a main cast member die in the mid-season finale, because it's going to be what everyone's talking about. It's going to kind of hype everyone up and wonder what's going to happen next for the second half. Because I think the first half of this season has been such a almost happy kick-ass. I mean, we've had some deaths like Shiva and, you know, Francine and Eric, but for the most part, it's been Rick kicking Negan's ass, Rick's team kicking Negan's team's ass. I think the first half, episode 8, will end with a really sad moment, a really sad death, and I think this death will be a main cast member death. Anyway, those are just my theories. Those are my thoughts for the rest of the first half of this season. Let me know what you guys think. Don't be shy. Hit that like and subscribe. We're almost at 250 subscribers, so please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm going to make a really happy, a really badass, awesome celebration video when we get to 250 subs. Anyway, I'm Spencer Rhodes. I will see you guys later. Bye.